So what happened on the Cincinnati side of the Roebling Bridge is in stark contrast to the violent arrest of protesters on the Covington side. Our David Winter is here now after looking into what went right and what may have gone wrong with what ultimately began, David, as a peaceful protest.
Yes, Kyle, it really was a tale of two protests. On the Cincinnati side of the Roebling, a few people were detained and cited and then released. But after the demonstrators began heading towards Covington, the circumstances and the police response appeared to change.
Before all of this happened, there was a peaceful protest and rally on the Cincinnati side of the Roebling Bridge for Imam Ayman Soliman, a local chaplain detained by ICE.
Regional Islamic communities are deeply concerned about the incarceration of members of the greater Cincinnati community.
It then appears at least some of the demonstrators were prepared for civil disobedience.
When I say good, you say trouble. Good. Trouble. Good. Trouble. Good. Trouble.
And when they began marching across the Roebling in traffic lanes, they found trouble. First, with what appears to be a driver not willing to stop for protesters. And then with police. Listen to what a Covington police commander says over the radio as the marchers crossed the bridge.
They need to respond and support units. If they find anybody failing to disperse, they go to jail.
And that direction appears to play out in a violent way. We showed the arrest video to a former police captain who now trains police on de-escalation techniques in crowd and protest situations.
Well, the first thing I would do if I was evaluating this situation is look at their policy, look at the training, and determine how this officer was trained, what their supervisors' directions were to these officers.
And Fomby says he teaches officers to only use strikes with a closed fist if a person poses a threat.
But if the person is only resisting arrest, what we call actively resisting, refusing to give their arms, flailing around, pushing, grabbing, strikes aren't necessarily the primary technique that I would teach or that I would use in that situation.
We asked Cincinnati's Chief Thiegy about her officer's response versus Covington's.
I'm not sure exactly how and why Covington's response was what it was, but I'm not going to second guess another law enforcement agency.
Chief Thiegy says that her officers are trained in de-escalation techniques when they are in the academy and in annual training. And regarding whether CPD will pursue that black SUV that nearly ran over those protesters, she says that she is waiting to hear what her investigators learn about that situation. Kyle?
Thank you so much. And now that we've seen the police video leading up to the bystander video of a Covington officer again repeatedly punching a protester, there may be a clearer picture for internal investigations to decide whether excessive force was in fact used on those demonstrators. But as the Covington chief mentioned in that news conference earlier today, that investigation could take weeks to conclude.